Good evening, folks, and welcome to the frigid clutches of the Mile High City for a battle of the bird teams tonight here in Week 1 as the Carolina Skyhawks take on the Denver Nightwings. I'm Brandon Walters, joined at the booth today by Alexander West. Alex, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm blessed as always, Brandon. It's a blast to be in the booth with you, but also it's fun to be here in Denver in Mile High. It's a great place to be. The views are fantastic, and hopefully the football is just as fantastic, and I think we're in for a good one.
Certainly an intriguing matchup here. Two teams that I think surprised a lot of people last season. You know, when we look at the Skyhawks, obviously, I don't think a lot of people were expecting them to be as good as they were last season, you know, making it into the playoffs and putting up a good fight. And as for Denver, I think a lot of people in the league were surprised to see Jeremy Vegas step back from the coaching roles and, you know, usher in this new era here in Denver. Do you have any favorites on who you think is going to get the edge here tonight?
Well, on paper, the favorite would seem to be the Carolina Skyhawks. They've got plenty of weapons that they have to utilize. They've got Riley Quintero, who's an all-star for this most recent season. They also have the acquisition of Marcus Dunhill, the former Fort Worth Toro, and an MVP back in season 14, slinging the rock. On paper, it is them, but I think that there's a little bit of underdog magic for the home team, the Nightwings, just because of how this coaching staff might have some extra wrinkles because of how little we've actually seen their playbook.
Well, Carolina will take the field first on offense here, which will bring out former MVP back in season 14, 10 seasons ago now, Marcus Dunhill over from Fort Worth here. And he will take his first snap as a Skyhawk. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Back offset to his left. Moving a man in motion. That is Chris Curtis, number 84, to the right side. Denver showing man. They'll run the ball here. A little bit of room on the right side, but only 1 yard there for Riley Quintero. You know, a very surprising player last season. In fact, voted the surprise of the season last season. You know, do you want to talk a little bit about the rushing attack that he brings to this team?
Well, how exactly can you quantify it outside of to say that he's deserved every laurel and accolade that they've laid at his feet?
There he is again.
Goodness.
Second time in a row meeting Tank Bennett there in the hole, but he picks up a lot more yardage the second go around. Let's walk you through that offense. Quarterback Marcus Dunhill, as we mentioned previously. Halfbacks Riley Quintero and Harish Prasad alongside the fullback Tony Zoma. Wide receivers Nolan Pierce, Chase Earl, Adam Banks, and Chris Curtis. Tight end Vince DeSantis. And a four-man offensive line, Kate Palmer, Chad Rowland, Ricky Rigatoni, and Chris Cross there as Tank Bennett, his third tackle in a row on the drive, will set up a 3-and-out here for the Skyhawks. They'll have to punt it away very quickly indeed.
Strong safety, Tank Bennett there, being a one-man wrecking crew, and it's a former Revolution player is saying, "Hello, Denver, I am here to make your dreams come true."
Lots of Revolution players on either side of the ball here tonight, but Denver seems to have, you know, gotten the pick of the litter there as their offense will come out on the first drive. And I think, you know, if we're going to talk about Revolution players, there's a big one in the backfield here for Denver. Dwayne Salmons has made the move to the Mile High City.
Indeed, and it's a great change of pace to an addition to Bailey O'Shaughnessy back there. He's a bigger guy, bigger frame. Great to have a thunder and lightning style.
Absolutely. His little handoff here on the first down. That's O'Shaughnessy slipping out of a tackle and managing to pick up a nice chunk of yards. That's 7 before he's brought down by Ibari Amin-Eglin. And, you know, really, Alex, you know, I think a lot of people talked about Dwayne Salmons and Chris Grant Jr. over in Louisiana being one of, if not potentially the best 1-2 tandem in the league. And now you get to pair him up with Bailey O'Shaughnessy instead. That's got to be fearful for any team to come up against. Oh, second down there. Yeah, nice. And that's Salmons trying to swim through on the right side there, but he gets taken out hard by Stinson. Let's walk you through that offense. New quarterback here in Denver, Trellis Blanton, coming over from Queen City. Halfbacks Dwayne Salmons and Bailey O'Shaughnessy alongside the fullback Ari Mills. Wide receivers Jay Viper, Logan Keel, Jeremy Mosley, and Dylan Lewis. Tight end Marquise Sango, and a three-man offensive line here for the Nightwings as Gene Benazzi, Igor Barbatov, and Marcella Martin on the line. They just get the first down there, Alex.
And oh, but do they? It's one of those things where we are going to have to see this one and check it out.
Well, we're going to get a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your console to play SFL on the go at GoRetroid.com. That was mighty close, Alex. I'm not actually sure. You know, I think to remind our viewers at home, The yellow line on the field is not an official estimate here, but oh man, that is close indeed for Salmons.
And I hate that angle too. This is a better one. Oh, nope, that's just shy. See, he did not get the ball forward enough. It was a very friendly spot by the refs, I think.
By the way, a very good tackle by the three-time All-Star Mike Ryan, the free safety, and they will overturn the decision on the field. It'll be a very, very short gain to go here for Denver. I'm curious, actually, now they're at midfield, do you think potentially you might go for it here on the 4th and 1?
You're across midfield. I absolutely would in this instance, but I'm fairly aggressive as far as it goes. Hello, let's see some football.
I say some early fireworks here potentially. Denver's going to go for it on 4th and 1. And almost certainly going to trust in this rushing attack here. Blanton under center in the I form. Joker set. They'll go right up the middle. O'Shaughnessy was fighting for it. Ooh, it's going to be close. I think they're going to mark him short, Alex.
Nothing doing. What a traffic jam there at the line of scrimmage. It's such a shame for O'Shaughnessy, who gets hung up on the guard there, isn't able to find his way around, and that gives just enough time for the Skyhawks to swarm to the football and close off all the additional running lanes. Sometimes O'Shaughnessy is able to bounce off and pivot, but not that time. Skyhawks respond.
An early gamble not paying off there for the Nightwings, and Carolina will take over possession right at about midfield here. Draw play on the first down. Handoff only gets a yard there. Man, these rushing defenses have been aggressive so far tonight, Alex.
And everyone has apparently gotten the memo that it's going to be ground early, ground often. Must be something in the wind tonight, something in the air. I know that the air pressure's lower up here.
No ground this time. 5 wide receivers for Dunhill. He's looking down the middle of the field all the time in the world, but that pass is tipped away well. He was looking for Riley Quintero deep down the field there, but unable to connect. And 3rd down and 9 here. And you're right, Alex. I mean, the first pass attempted by either team so far in this one, and a bit surprising considering, obviously Carolina had its struggles last season in the quarterback department, but now with Dunhill here, I figure you'd expect them to be a bit more balanced. 3rd down, Dunhill moving out of the pocket, looking down the left side. That one is broken up. Curtis was on the receiving end of a big hit there and could not reel it in. Nice job by number 37.
Ted Haynes.
Ted Haynes, the corner over from Queen City. A big free agent pickup for this Nightwings defense.
Not only that, but just to flashback one more play before that one, because this is 2 great consecutive pass defenses to stop Dunhill cold. The first pass attempt that he had that he slung to Quintero was deflected by the lone all-star for Denver that from last season, the linebacker John Martin.
John Martin, certainly a underrated figure in the league, I would say, especially at that linebacker position, as Keel calls for the fair catch at the 25-yard line, and that will bring out the Nightwings again for their second try here on offense. They got a decent start on the first drive, unable to convert on a 4th down and 1 try. Right at around midfield, we'll see what they can do here. First down, Blanton will dump it off to O'Shaughnessy, who's down in the backfield, a loss of 1, and Mojo McClain is making his mark known early in this one.
That's a hospital pass if ever I've seen one, especially when it's going to the back shoulder. You're not giving him any chance to try and put a move on the defender who's there as soon as the ball's caught.
2nd and 11 now for Denver. Blanton will throw again out of the I form. Drops deep back in the pocket there and manages to connect with his receiver. That's Jeremy Mosley getting his first catch of the season. And Stinson again on the tackle there. We've seen him a few times as well. Another fellow all-star from last season.
And particularly impressive on this particular play is just how well the combination in the front 4 or the front 7 is working together here. Plenty of pressure coming off the weak side, but also the linebackers are playing coverage underneath.
Man in motion here. That's Dylan Lewis moving to the left side. Skyhawks showing zone here. Blanton almost certainly going to throw it on 3rd and 9. And he will. Time in the pocket over the middle of the field, trying to find Logan Keel, but that one's broken up well. Number 29 for the Skyhawks. That is Ibari Amin Eaglin. We've seen him a few times as well for this defense. And again, another quick 3 and out here, Alex. Both teams looking stout defensively so far.
And, at some point, it's clearly not that these teams don't have firepower. They do. Offensive all-stars are littered on both squads all over the place. It's just a matter of, you got to think that there's some jitters for both squads with the new season opening up. Both squads have a new quarterback under center, and those coaches are going to have to learn how to use their quarterbacks, and in a couple of and in the case of Denver, that new halfback to the maximum effectiveness.
Yeah, it does feel like both teams are kind of trying to feel out their offenses as this game is getting underway here, as Pierce returns it up past the 35-yard line. But it's been a tight one so far. Ground game has definitely been the walk of the talk here so far in this one. 5 minutes left in this first quarter here, as Carolina will take over for its third offensive possession of the evening. Dunhill under center. 1st and 10. He'll hand off on the right side there. That's Prasad getting, I believe, his first carry of the night, and a nice carry there. It gets up 4 for the Skyhawks offense.
And, you know, what I always have appreciated about Harish Prasad's game and what he brings as far as from this halfback position is he's done an incredible job of being a big but still slippery halfback. He's a power back that can still squeeze his shoulders between the tackles.
Pitch left side. They're going for it. Oh, man, Prasad had a bit of room there. I think it was actually Quintero on the last one, but that one is Harish Prasad's, and he gets a nice run on the left side there. It looked like Denver wanted to stack the interior of the box with the defense there.
And what blocking there by Tony Zoma to also pick up the linebacker. You see how we had Kate Palmer sealing the edge there, or no, excuse me, Vince DeSantis sealing the edge there. No, yeah, that was Chad Rowland over there. I got the line mixed up there. Chad Rowland on the left tackle position.
Line shuffling around, it seems a little bit. Dunhill hands off on the first down. Quintero pushing forward, and we'll pick up another 3 or 4 against this defense, which has been pretty good so far tonight. Let's walk you through that Night Wings defensive unit. On the line, defensive ends Gerald Cumbus and Hugo Reynoso, alongside defensive tackles Logan Gardner and Joseph Sabolka. Linebackers Chuck Diesel, Jimmy Burgett, and Luis Quintana and John Martin. Corners Luke Schreiner, Ted Haynes, and Parker Thomas, and the safeties Lucas DeVore and Tank Bennett. As, oh man, Prasad was trying to weave his way through the left side there, but didn't really get any room going. That's Chuck Diesel there on the tackle. Another Revolution free agent picked up by this Night Wings team. There's quite a few of them here on the roster, Alex.
Indeed, and Chuck Diesel is a one to note because of how big he is as well. 6'3", 260. You could make a case to put him at defensive end for a few snaps.
3rd and 6, bunch set on the left here for Dunhill. Need to see a little bit more from his arm so far tonight. We haven't seen much showcased from the quarterback, but he will look to the right side there. The one-on-one. No! Parker Thomas gets his first takeaway of the season, and Dunhill struggling a little bit so far to open up this one. Throws his first interception on the season, and Denver, the home fans, are very happy indeed.
Absolutely bouncing up and down in their seats, and justifiably so, because this is one-on-one coverage. There's nowhere to hide, nothing to do except just make the play on the football, and we see it finally happen. And so far, Dunhill's trying to get Nolan Pierce, the new pick, the new rookie, but unable to do so.
Trying to spread the ball around a little bit, it seems, and so far really unable to get anything moving through the air offensively here. 3:58 in the first quarter as Denver takes over for another drive. Blanton will throw again, looking over the middle, finds a receiver. Jeremy Mosley makes the catch there, and only the second completed pass for Blanton, and the second completed pass of the game so far, but that one is the first big deep strike we've had this evening.
And it's funny how we haven't seen much of a medium game, but suddenly, finally, just because of how much these defenses have been playing up, the box is beginning to get a little more cramped. The safeties finally are actually making plays that aren't involving them running down to stop a running play.
Safeties being asked to do a lot of run coverage so far tonight, but now getting tested a little bit through the air here as Blanton will hand off on the first down. Salmons gets 5 on the right side there. We'll walk you through the Skyhawks defense as well to round off our coverage. On the line, defensive ends L.J. Hobbs and May Carter. Defensive tackles Phil Hall and Christopher Colon. Linebackers Danny Stinson, Mojo McLean, and Shervon Prasad. Corners Tristan Hatley, T.D. Jack, and Davidson Joseph. And the safeties Skippy Curtis, Mike Ryan, and Ibari Ahmed Eglin as they'll hand it off again on the right side. That one's O'Shaughnessy getting another chunk of yardage. It'll set up a short 3rd and 1 for this offense.
And it's going to be a critical 3rd and 1 as well, because at some point you've got to be able to break through the stone wall, or else it's going to get demoralizing as the game progresses. You need these 3rd down conversions and show that you can do it.
Last time they were here, they were stuffed, but this time Dwayne Salmon says, "I will not be denied," by Mojo McLean, and picks up the first down. A nice little run there from Denver. And you're right, Alex, it's been a struggle so far in the short yardage situations, it feels like, when they actually need to get those couple of yards to actually get them. But they do so there. High form here, first down. They'll hand it off again up the middle. O'Shaughnessy bouncing it outside, breaks it.
Oh my God!
There's got plenty of room. McLean chases him down, but not after a first down and plenty more yardage there. About 15 for Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
And what I love about this play especially is that it's an effort by four people that really highlight it all. O'Shaughnessy does an incredible job breaking a tackle, but it's the blocking from the tackle, the guard, and the fullback R.E. Mills that all open the way. Tackle being Gene Benazzi.
First and 10, they'll go back to Salmon. Stinson gets around the end of the line real quick there and shuts that one down after a gain of only 1. And it feels like it's been a bit boom or bust so far, Alex. We've had big run plays, and we've had things that haven't really been able to get out the gates.
It's one of those. It's just feeling like one of those games where the defenses are looking to stop everything, or you're going to get behind them.
Second down here. O'Shaughnessy on the run this time, breaking a tackle from McLean before being brought down by Amon Eaglin. But that'll set up a shorter 3rd and 4 here, and Denver moving into scoring position. The first time either team is really threatened to put some points on the board so far in this game.
I do think that we'll be seeing more and more O'Shaughnessy of O'Shaughnessy breaking tackles as the game gets later. He's got that talent, but it's going to take a little bit of time to soften up the gut.
They'll run against the nickel here, 3rd and 4. Salmon's pushing, but unable to really find some room. And Amon Eaglin again with a good tackle will make it a 4th and 2. And so almost certainly we're going to see the kicking unit for Denver come out, and we will indeed. Jordan Bradshaw, the kicker for this Night Wings unit, his 2nd season here in Denver, to nail on a 38-yard field goal. And that one is straight through the uprights. The first points of the season for the Night Wings gives them the lead 3-0 over the Skyhawks here in Denver.
And the home team's up on the board. The crowd is just as happy as can be. Well, they'd be happier if there was a touchdown, but they'll settle for taking the lead at home to start the season. Look at that boot. My.
Getting a bit of an altitude assist there as the kick sails out of the back of the end zone. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. 1st and 10 here for Carolina, and they will go back to the run here. That one is Quintero shut down at the line of scrimmage. They'll mark it as a loss of 1 there. Chuck Diesel, the interior linebacker, making a nice tackle. Second and 11 here now. Dunhill will go with the 4 wide receiver set. Threatening to throw here. Haven't seen any completed passes from him so far tonight. And that one's nearly intercepted as well.
God.
Dangerous pass there. Ted Haynes had his hands on that one and honestly might be kicking himself, Alex.
I would be kicking there is no one that has the opportunity to catch a ball like that straight at you almost. You just got to lean over and snag it out of the air, but that's why he plays cornerback instead of wide receiver.
3rd and 11 now. Dunhill 0 for 4 start so far tonight with an interception. Been a rough go of things here for his first game in this country.
Oh my
Parker
God!
Thomas again, the one-handed interception. That's 2 on the night for Parker Thomas. As Mr. Eddie Gage noted in the chat, the best slot corner in the league, and it looks like he's proven it so far tonight, Alex.
And putting his mark on the game in the biggest of ways, he is single-handedly snuffing out one of the highest profile free agent signings, trying to connect with his #1 overall pick, not once but twice, because that's Nolan Pierce that Parker Thomas was defending for this pass as well. They've just got this particular matchup on lock, and if I'm Marcus Dunhill, I'm not throwing to Nolan Pierce if I see 42 on him.
The makeup speed on that one was really incredible. It looked like he was a couple steps behind Pierce and still manages to get the pick there as Eddie Gage will pat himself on the back for the player build that he created. Bailey O'Shaughnessy unable to get anything there, loses a yard. Mojo McLean makes the tackle. And at the end of one, we've had a lot of excitement here so far tonight, folks. 2 interceptions, 3 points on the board. Denver has the lead over the Skyhawks. We'll be right back with you. And welcome back to the Mile High City here. Brandon Walters alongside Alexander West here in the booth with you. Stats being provided by Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston. Thank you both for such an incredible job And of course, Cameron Irvine, SFL commissioner, producing as always, and he throws up a nice little graphic for us. 0 passing yards, the big story so far in this one, as Blanton will pick up a few more. Nice little 8-yard throw to his tight end, Marquise Sango.
Nifty little operation here, and with such short field, really all you have to be focused on is just don't give the ball away. Just don't do that. Anything else, and you can work with that. You're so close to the end zone.
To be fair, it's something that Blanton struggled with last season in Queen City. We'll see if he can get rid of some of those little turnover bugs. In this one here, Salmons manages to push forward and pick up the first down here. 1st and goal now. Mike Ryan was going for a bit of a ride on that one.
Rumbling like a bulldozer is Salmons on this one off the right side. And that's where he's putting all of his 6'1", 225 frame into effect. And that's why he's such an effective counterpart to Bailey O'Shaughnessy here in these short yardage situations.
16 yards on 7 carries now for Salmons, spelling the number 2 behind O'Shaughnessy so far in this one. Ari Mills trying to get the dump off pass from Blanton there. Broken up very well indeed by number 22. That's Tristan Hatley for the Skyhawks. 2nd and goal now from the 5-yard line.
You know, just talking about Salmons, though, is something to watch is see what his touchdown total and what his rushing totals look like now that he's playing with Bailey O'Shaughnessy instead. See if they're able to get him as many carries as he had last season. He had 231.
Certainly someone who knows how to tote the rock very well indeed. They'll pitch left side. Salmons has some room there, breaking attack. Can't get it. Mike Ryan says no thank you. The end zone is closed on that play, sir. 3rd and goal now. It's going to be from the 1-yard line.
I was so sure that he was going to be waltzing into the end zone after shucking off the linebacker with that little leg shake, but instead, boom, Mike Ryan on time, on target.
1 yard to go here. Carolina looking to stand tough. O'Shaughnessy dives and breaks the plane. Touchdown for the Night Wings, and they get their first touchdown of the season here. 10-point lead looking to build now, and the fans are certainly excited in this one. And, you know, I mean, really benefiting so far from beneficial field positions tonight, Alex.
You can always, absolutely, you could always say that week 1's a little bit of a mess. You never know what's going to happen, but Denver looks like they very firmly have the grasp on this game. They're up 2 scores. Their defense has been playing lights out, and the offense has just been able to put they put a drive together to go get a field goal, and now they took advantage of their defense, gifting them a golden opportunity and they turn that into 7 points. This is exactly what you need to be doing if you want to have a winning season.
Parker Thomas's 2nd interception of the game gives Denver a very easy field to score their first touchdown of the game on. 10-0 now for the Night Wings at home, and Carolina looking to be struggling, honestly, carrying on a bit of the struggles that they had last season from the quarterback position. So far in this one, Dunhill has really struggled to be able to move the ball through the air. Still has not completed a pass to his own team yet in this one.
And you know what? I'm gonna call something spooky here. I think he's actually about to start uncorking a few balls and making some completions here, because I just saw how far that kick didn't go. The wind tonight is strong and it's blowing in a westerly direction, so now it's at his back instead of him having to throw into it.
And we can see him put some sails on some of the throws that he's putting on here so far tonight, as Quintero gets a nice run and some room on the left side there. We'll pick up an easy 5 yards before contact. And, you know, Riley Quintero really, I mean, just such an impressive player. You know, I think a lot of people were not expecting him to break out onto the scene the way that he did last season. And now with a reinforced offensive line, you know, former Indianapolis Rambler owner Chad Rowland coming in to really give them some reinforcement. It looks like so far tonight they have been able to run the ball very effectively indeed, as Prasad will pick up a couple. An injury on the field there. Vince DeSantis, the tight end for the Skyhawks, down on the field, and you hate to see that.
Absolutely. Vince DeSantis, their sole tight end on the roster. And I know you kind of wonder if maybe it's because he's a little bit of a slimmer guy. His build implies, honestly, he's a wide receiver. He's 6'5", 220. He's been here for a while, though, but that's the danger of having some of these skinnier guys playing blocking duties at the line of scrimmage. You get matched up against linebackers or sometimes defensive ends that are just bigger than you.
Some tight ends will have to step up off of the bench here to provide in DeSantis' potential absence, as Quintero tried to go to the right side there. That one was shut down immediately. Hugo Reynosa bringing the pressure alongside pretty much all of the Night Wings defense, and they will force yet another 3 and out here. And man, this offense really seeming to be stuck in mud so far tonight, Alex.
Starting to feel like they are just, to go with your analogy, it feels like they're really spinning their wheels. Tonight they are 0 for 5 on third down, an absolutely nightmarish statistic to really think about, especially when you consider that that's paired with a total 36 yards of offense so far. I'm not saying that like Denver's blowing the house down or anything, but they've managed 80 yards and they've put some points on the board. Both teams have turnovers, though, but Carolina just hasn't managed to do anything with the opportunities they've had.
Seems as though the passing game is still an area of woe for the Skyhawks so far in this one, as they'll hand off here first down. O'Shaughnessy dragging McLean forward, and another injury. That's O'Shaughnessy down on the field.
Oh, no.
Huge injury here for Denver.
And this is a moment where it's an absolutely terrible thing to see, where it's, a bell cow back, the quality of Bailey O'Shaughnessy's going down. But, if there's ever a moment you feel okay about it, it's because you got Dwayne Salmons to replace him. Dwayne Salmons actually did more carries than O'Shaughnessy last season, more total yards, 5th in total carries and 4th in total yard production. So it's not like he's not available and able to do the hard work.
But you certainly don't want to lose one of your star running backs here, as they will dump off for Salmons on the pass there from Blanton, and picks up a few before Mike Ryan notches up another tackle in his stat column so far tonight. 3rd and 4 now for the Nightwings offense, and Blanton will probably be asked to try and throw the ball here again if I had to be a betting man.
He's going up against a nickel, so it's I spread. Plenty of options, but I'm betting with you. And I think he gets it.
Pressure shown but not brought there, and plenty
yes,
of room.
He does!
Found on the left side there, Ryan with the tackle. But Blanton has started it off well so far tonight, 5 of 7 for 31 yards, throwing the ball down the field. A steady start so far to his career here in Denver.
And and what I love about this play in particular is how much effort Logan Keel puts into getting past the little hand fighting from that zone coverage linebacker to push behind and get to the open space with that deep post route. I love it.
Split back set here, first down now, again in midfield for this Nightwings offense. That's Mosley in motion to the right side. So look here from the Carolina defense, but they'll run the ball. Ari Mills gets his first successful touch of the evening and picks up 4 through the middle of the field there.
Ari Mills, a real one of the long timers for this squad. He's been here for 10 years. He's only one of 3 players on the offensive side of the football, in fact, on either side of the football, that has been here that long. One of the elder statesmen and a steadying influence. Give him all the credit. Look at him go again.
I think that's actually his backup there who got.
Oh, you're right.
I think the altitude playing havoc with some players' stamina here so far tonight. 3rd and 4 now for the Nightwings, and Blanton may be asked to throw the ball again here, trying to really stretch that arm out and get comfortable in this offense. He'll face a nickel look on defense here again on 3rd down. 5:40 left to go here. They'll hand off Mills again up the middle of the field. Was trying to push Stinson, but Mike Ryan came in with the assist there and will make it a 4th down and 1. Alex, they went for it once here. Do you think they're going to go for it again?
Oh, I hope so. But no, once bitten, twice shy. Dang. But you know what? Okay, you know what? Fair enough. You're up 2 scores. You don't need to be hyper aggressive in this situation, but I would.
Charles' punt hangs a little bit short there and taken by Pierce up to the 26-yard line. I'm surprised he didn't call for the fair catch on that one, but Carolina getting the ball back here halfway through the second quarter and still haven't completed a pass on offense as we get a look here at the team stats. 36 rushing yards, but only 1 first down gain so far for the Skyhawks offense. No passing yards so far tonight. 2 interceptions as well for Marcus Dunhill. It's been a struggle, Alex.
And I bet you that's why we saw Nolan Pierce actually take that punt, is just sheer frustration at having 2 of the targets going his way picked off. He wants to touch the football. I can't blame him.
Quintero up the middle of the field there. They've been able to get some nice runs up the middle, as Riley will pick up 5 on that one. And, I think at this point you start to ask, how can we get this offense moving through the air? Do we need to dump the ball off to something that should be, a bit more of an easier completion? Do we keep trying to shoot down the middle of the field as Dunhill's been doing so far tonight? What do we need to change or adjust to get this offense moving?
No doubt they have to come up with something different, but it feels like they're not using the side of the field enough. Some out routes or maybe even just some simple passes to the flats.
We'll pitch to the left side. Prasad was dragged down from behind.
Oh my goodness.
Nice tackle there by the all-star John Martin, making his mark on this one. 3rd and 6 now, and Dunhill will have to go to the air if he wants a first down here.
Martin making it look so easy out there. He's extremely quick to respond to the football. Johnny on the spot.
Dunhill rolling out to the right side, trying to get it out of the pocket. Martin was behind him, but he finally gets one down the middle of the field there. And a big completion indeed. Chase Earl right at midfield will pick up a huge first down for this offense. That's a 20-yard completion.
And this is a breath of life, of fresh air, whatever you want to call it. But this is the first real spark that Carolina has shown of any real sort, and it's their first 3rd down conversion.
A good throw there by Dunhill will finally hopefully get some spark into this passing attack. 1st and 10, past midfield for the first time tonight for Carolina. Quintero, plenty of room on the right side, picks up 6 before he's brought down by a gaggle of Denver defenders there. Martin gets the credit alongside, I believe, Tank Bennett, and Luke Schreiner was there as well. 2nd and 4 for Carolina. Setting up in the I formation. They'll pitch to the right side there. Quintero tried to bend it inside, but ran into one of his own blockers there, and a nice tackle by Chuck Diesel will make it a 3rd and 4 for the Carolina offense.
And Chuck Diesel, again, just being such an absolute menace and so hard to move. He's an exceptional asset in the run game.
Crowd is loud here at Mile High. Tight end in motion for Dunhill to the right side of the line. Looks like man coverage being shown by the Nightwings. Diesel on the move to cover. Rollout pass again here for Dunhill. Looking down the middle of the field. This time goes across his body, but finds Chase Earl again. Both completions going to number 12 so far tonight for the Skyhawks offense, and 2 3rd down conversions for this offense.
And both times it's been Luke Schreiner in coverage and Luke Schreiner having to deliver a hit, but it doesn't matter. Chase still reeling those in despite knowing who's on his hip pocket.
Daniel trying to find a matchup that works for him. Parker Thomas was shutting down Nolan Pierce, but so far Luke Schreiner has been open for business against Chase Earl there. There's another one. That time it was Thomas on the coverage and tackles him after a gain of 3, but all 3 completions still going to number 12 here. And Dunhill looks like just trying to find his rhythm, and when you come into a new environment, Alex, I think you're always trying to look for that guy who can be Mr. Reliable first and foremost.
Looks like he may have found it.
2-minute warning here in Denver. 10-0 lead for the Nightwings, but Carolina threatening to score. We'll be right with you. Welcome back to Denver on the 25-yard line for Carolina. Brandon Walters and Alex West on the call tonight. Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston in the stats truck, and SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine producing as always here. Carolina looking to chalk up the first points of their season as, Quintero was trying to go to that left side, but again, the pitch shut down this time. It's Martin with the tackle for loss, and it feels like these linebackers have been very active so far tonight, Alex.
They really have, and it doesn't feel like the pitch is working because of how much these linebackers are key to prioritize the run first and foremost before even considering coverage.
3rd and 8, Dunhill's completed 3 in a row. That one's intercepted! No! Martin gets the pick in his 3rd. A trifecta of interceptions for Marcus Dunhill in the first half, and certainly a half that he is going to want to forget here as we were talking about John Martin having a big impact so far in this one, mostly in run coverage, but that time gets a nice little interception for his efforts, and really, honestly, Alex, did not have to do too much for it.
No, not at all. It's because, and I think it's just because Dunhill just straight up did not see him lurking there, dropping back into coverage. He was just so used to watching and looking to see where that blitz was coming from him or where the run was going to be that he didn't even think that there was going to be someone there.
Blanton will dump it off on the first down. Salmon shook the tackle from McLean, but was pushed out of bounds after a gain of only 1. And, Alex, I think a lot of people early on in the last season, when the coaching changes were announced, I think a lot of people had a bit of skepticism, but so far, defensive coordinator Jimmy Hatzis has put together one hell of a game plan to shut down this Skyhawks offense that really took so many people by surprise last season.
Could not agree more. And Jimmy's a great personality, a glowing star in the minor leagues, and for him to contribute here is also a blessing.
Draw to the replacement for Salmons, who has still not made his way out onto the field. And that's Wells, who will pick up nice 4-yard gain here. 1:20 left to go in the first half, and Denver does not look too interested in pushing the ball down the field at a rapid pace here, Alex.
No, they really, truly do not, and it's, being up 2 scores, that's understandable.
Carolina showing blitz, but only brings 3 there, dropping off into the zone coverage, and Keel had his hands on it, but was broken up well on that left side. Not sure who was involved in the pass breakup there, but Denver will have to punt the ball away again here. And now Carolina has a minute to try and get down the field and score some points in this one.
And that's why I think it's totally fine that they chose to work the clock instead of prioritizing trying to get down the field. I would prefer some more aggression since you're only up by 10 points instead of you're only up a field goal and a touchdown instead of 2 touchdowns. But hey, you're being up 2 scores in general and leaving the enemy with less than a minute after that hang time. Great punt. That means that they are going to have an uphill battle to try and put the ball in the end zone, especially with how Marcus Dunhill has been throwing.
It's been a tough night so far for the former Fort Worth Toro. 3 of 9, 38 yards, and 3 interceptions so far in this one. The air maybe playing a bit of havoc with his throws. He was trying to find number 86 down there. That's Vince DeSantis, who's back on the field. Good to see him emerging from the blue tent, but unable to reel that pass in.
And that's a tough one to actually reel in with how he was having to leap and angle, get up there, and then the hit comes in the ribs after he's just gotten back on the field. Questionable.
Certainly a tough shot to take, but I feel like you have to know that you're coming back into a football game time situation. You're going to be expecting some hits as a man in motion. That was Curtis to the right side there. Dunhill will dump off for Quintero, trying to get anything moving here. A good tackle by Haynes. And it looks like Carolina potentially calling their first timeout of the half here. They want to try and get down the field and score points. And, they're still in position to do so. They're right at about midfield again here, Alex. If you get a 1 or 2 big pass plays, you could be right in position to tack on at least a field goal.
It seems like it should be possible. And honestly, I'm surprised. I kind of expect him to look to Chris Curtis at some point here.
We haven't seen too much from Curtis. There's one.
Hey.
Right on cue. Timeout called by Carolina. That's their second of the half. And, commentators, what's the reverse of a curse? Commentator's blessing?
Yeah, it's commentator called it. Someone get my turban with the jewel on it and my crystal ball.
We'll start calling you Zoltar West now. Marcus Dunhill moves across midfield. First down and 10 here. 1 timeout left in the pocket there. Going to the right side.
Oh,
no! Number 4, Tank Bennett this time gets his pick. And right down the midfield, another Louisiana Revolution defender making his mark felt in this one, Alex.
It feels like Marcus Dunhill found the Zoltar machine, put in a quarter, and got the fortune of doom after this. Oh my goodness. 4 interceptions before we even get out of the first half is just about as bad of start as you can imagine. But at least theoretically, you can only go up from here, right? 4 interceptions, and Denver is still only up 10 with a chance to widen the gap, but they've been very passive.
Louisiana on Louisiana violence there. And that was Adam Banks who was the intended target on that one. He picked off by his fellow former teammate Tank Bennett there for his 60th interception on his career. Congratulations on reaching that milestone, Tank, as Logan Keel with a big one-handed catch there. And Denver will now call their first time out of the half, and looks like they want to try and add on a little bit more to this lead before the locker rooms.
No reason not to. You're getting within range. Take a shot or two. A field goal doesn't get you much, but a touchdown gets you a whole lot of breathing room.
First down and 10 here. Blanton in the eye for him, but he will pass. Not really much pressure being brought there. Oh, man. Leaping grab there on the right side. An impressive catch by number 15. That's Jay Viper with his first catch, the former Lexington Miner, moving over to Denver and getting involved now with this offense.
Miners in Motor City now here, hopefully finding his spot here and being comfortable. And that time, taking to the sky between 2 other fellow birds of prey. This really is the airborne battle.
I say the Bird Bowl.
The Bird Bowl.
Jay Piper in motion to the right side, setting up a 3-man. on that right side. Blanton with some pressure in his face.
Oh my goodness!
Carolina gets their first one to the half, and that's number 28, Skippy Curtis, the safety, making his mark on this one. Denver just not able to capitalize on the turnover on that drive, and man, the ball has been switching hands all throughout this game so far tonight, Alex.
Skippy's so sneaky underneath. She's only 5'11", but at 210, she's got plenty of power to her. It's the speed, though, that's killer with her. She's laterally able to shift around, be wherever she needs to be on time. And with that one, she's just lurking underneath and saves Denver from being able to widen this lead even further.
5 interceptions so far tonight. You know, really been a no-fly zone for either of these Burke teams. Dunhill been the real struggle so far tonight for him as he'll go to the air first down and manages to find his receiver. Nolan Pierce finally gets one on the board, and it's a big one down to the middle of the field, but it doesn't look like a timeout's going to be called. And that means that we're headed into halftime here with Denver taking a commanding lead, Alex.
And it's not even been it's not even seemed particularly close at times, has it? Oh, wow, we will see a timeout.
Timeout called with 3 seconds here. Looks like Dunhill wants to test out that arm strength and go for a potential Hail Mary here. Final timeout for Carolina. So this one's got to go all the way to the end zone or not at all.
You know what? It makes sense. You don't think you're going to get in field goal range anyways, and Denver has a timeout, so if you throw a pick, it's bad. Just let this be the last one.
Dunhill heaving up the right side of the field. Caught by Chase Earl, who has had a bright first half here. Really, him and Riley Quintero, the only two on offense to really be able to say that so far, as Dunhill manages to get another completion on the board. Maybe a little bit of a confidence booster headed into halftime.
And what is certainly possible here.
Well, we're at the halftime break. Denver with the lead, 10-0 at the moment over the Carolina Skyhawks. It's been a defensive battle so far tonight, Alex, and I mean, we've seen turnovers galore in this one. 5 interceptions, offensive struggles through the air in particular. Is there anything in particular that you've seen through the first half?
Well, honestly, what stood out to me so far is the fact that we've only got 1 offensive touchdown and we have a total of 6 turnovers. We've got 5 interceptions. We've got a turnover on downs from a 4th and 1 that failed to convert. We've got yards per carry for 4 out of the 5 running backs that have actually made an attempt that are under 3 yards, that are at 2.8 or 2.5 yards per carry. These defenses are playing the run, and Nightwing and the Nightwings in particular are doing an exceptional job in the secondary of, I don't know what it is. They've just got Dunhill figured out.
The tape has been scouted on Marcus Dunhill, but I mean, I think as the chat alludes to, Carolina's got to be feeling pretty good to only be down 10 points after giving away 4 interceptions. I think it's certainly still very much within reach here so far as we bring you back to Denver. Brandon Walters alongside Alexander West in the booth. Rochelle Colston, Ron Haynes doing stats for us. Thank you very much as always. And Cameron Irvine producing for us from SFL headquarters. Denver will get the ball here to start off the second half, so a potential to add on to this lead even more here and continue the shutout that they've been pitching so far, as Keel spins out of a tackle and is brought down at the 29-yard line.
Now we
there.
Yeah, and now I don't know what we're going to see here in this second half, though, Brandon. I really am hoping to see Carolina's offense settle down and have had a productive conversation about what they need to do differently. Because if Marcus can figure it out, this game is still very much within reach.
We get a look at Charles Blanton's last 10 pass attempts. He was looking pretty good up until that last interception here, but still 7 of 10 for 75 yards and a pick. It's been an up and down night so far for both passing attacks. Blanton has been much more consistent than Dunhill so far, but Dunhill has more yards as they'll hand off up the middle of the field, and Dwayne Salmon's still not out on the field. His backup will take that one for 7 yards. Wells with a nice run.
Still no sightings of Bailey O'Shaughnessy, which is, a little bit disheartening, but at the same time, it's not like he was doing that much better. He had 1 big run for 16 yards, but otherwise it's been tough sledding.
Hand off there. Oh, man. That one is shut down quickly. And that is Salmons getting the carry there. Bailey O'Shaughnessy is the one in the medical team. Excuse me for that. But nice to see Dwayne Salmons getting another carry here. 3rd and 1 now. And certainly getting close to being set up for a short yardage situation.
I felt that one in my ribs, bud. That was nasty.
I could tell by the way you leaned away from the mic there. 3rd and 1 here as Salmon's trying to fight his way through on the left side, and they're just going to give it to him. McLean was there to make a tackle. That one might be challenged again here by Carolina, but it's a close one either way.
They won the last one.
Seems like the red flag will stay in the pocket for the Skyhawks here. 1st and 10 now for Denver at the 40-yard line. And off again. That is Wells on the left side. Manages to pick up 3 yards as we've got a game break for you from SFL headquarters. Cameron.
Thank you, Brandon. The only touchdown in the first half today between Bossier City and Nashville. This Johnny Pickler bomb to Garrison Blue for the score. Bossier City leads Nashville 10-6 late in the second quarter. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. Garrison Blue showing off some nice footwork there as somehow Ari Mills does not get credit for the first down there. They'll mark it at a 3rd and inches, and it looks like both games so far have been defensive struggles, Alex.
Something about this block is just bringing out the bad boys and girls on defense, and I'm here for it. We don't need a 60-point shootout.
Salmon's up the middle of the field, picks up a nice one before taking a shot of a hit there on the right side from Phil Hall, the defensive tackle for the Skyhawks. And I would agree with you, Alex. Defense, you're a wide receiver, so you like that offensive stuff. I'm a defensive guy. Give me the big hits.
I get it, I do. But honestly, there's something pure about just the old school Smash Mouth football. That's what we're getting tonight. I would like a little bit of a cleaner game overall, but we'll see. The second half is anything's possible.
Well, week 1 is the week to work out the kinks in these offenses. Sango goes in motion there, and Wells trying to push up the middle, but really stuffed there indeed. McLean will add another tackle to his resume so far tonight. That's his 9th on the evening, and having a great game so far in defense.
I might be crazy, but I feel like I've been seeing him line up quite a few times with his hand on the ground at that defensive end position, switching with LJ Hobbs at times.
Well, when you've got a player as good as he is, you got to find any way you can to utilize him. As Salmons has a bruising run up the middle of the field, and man, McLean, Ibari, Amon, Eaglin, and Mike Ryan all kind of bounced off of him there. Finally goes down, but not after a gain of about 4 or 5, setting up a short 3rd and 3 now for Denver.
Not only that, but if they don't get this first down, they might be within the edge of Jordan Bradshaw's leg.
Hey, the altitude does wonders for kickers up here as Blanton will look deep down the middle of the field, was trying to find Sango on the seam route there, but Mike Ryan breaks up that pass and says, no, sir, it's 4th down now for Denver.
Got to be a field goal. The wind's out at your back. You've got everything you need to get. Oh, come on.
Incorrect, Alex. Incorrect assumption. Bradshaw will be out on the field, but as a punter, not as a kicker for Denver. And they will try and pin the Skyhawks deep with the wind at the back of the punter. Doesn't necessarily seem like it. It'll bounce at the 20 and take a slight Nighthawks bounce, or Nightwings bounce, but will end up at about the 18-yard line. We've made it to 2025, and that means that the 2025 SFL convention is right around the corner. It's headed to Baltimore, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season from July 10th to the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. As Quintero has plenty of room on the left side on the first down carry and picks up a nice 9 yards before he's brought down. And he's been very efficient so far on the ground tonight, Alex. 12 carries, 37 yards is his current stat line in this one.
And it's perfectly respectable whenever you consider that everyone else is well into the 2-point-something yards per carry. He's done all he can.
Pitch to the right side. Prasad was trying to get there, but is stuffed by Parker Thomas, who's had a heck of a game so far. 2 interceptions for the cornerback, and now adding on some running back tackles to his stat line so far tonight. 2 tackles, 2 interceptions. That's an efficient outing, I would say, Alex.
Absolutely. Matching up this time on Chris Curtis, although I think this one's probably going to be a run play.
3rd and 1, Quintero in the backfield, almost certain to get it here from Dunhill. They'll move the fullback in motion to set up the strong side. 2 tight ends on that left, and they'll go for it. Oh, Quintero's stuck. John Martin again with a big tackle for loss there. He has been all over the place so far tonight. A couple of tackles for loss and an interception so far for the linebacker, formerly from Jacksonville. And a big defensive stop here. Another 3-and-out for Carolina.
No other way to put it, folks. Hats off to Jimmy Hatsis, who is currently taking a playoff team to task with his game plan, using a unit that ultimately missed the playoffs, and not by a slim margin either. It's an exceptional new dawn in Denver, and all you can just think is, how high can these guys soar?
Certainly one team flying high right now, and the other team seems a bit grounded in this one, as Carolina still trying to find some kind of offensive identity that'll get them moving down the field consistently. Sango in motion, sets up a tight end on either side of the line here for the quarterback Blanton, who will drop it off. Salmons gets the dump off pass and picks up an easy 8 yards there. Really didn't meet anyone until Tristan Hatley was able to come up and make the tackle there. And that's a free 8 yards for this offense.
And you know what? It's totally fine, because you're up 2 scores, and Trellis Blanton in this moment just needs to be a game manager, and he's doing perfectly fine as that. Making sure he's not throwing too many dangerous footballs, as opposed to Dunhill, who's being a gunslinger.
And off to Wells. Easy first down there for the backup running back for Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Daryl Stinson on the tackle there, but unable to, or Danny Stinson, excuse me, unable to stop the first down there. And we still have not seen Bailey O'Shaughnessy come back into this game. And unfortunate for this Nightwings offense to be missing such a premier running back, Alex.
And yet, while they are missing his presence, it's not that they aren't still managing to get some production from this squad without him. It's just that there is a noticeable drop-off when it's not Dwayne in the backfield.
As you say, Ari Mills gets a carry there, but can only pick up one before Stinson notches a second consecutive tackle. And you're right about, I want to highlight Trellis Blanton has been effective and efficient so far tonight. 10 of 15 for 84 yards, 1 interception to his name, and a rather costly one coming in the end zone, which cost this offense some points, but still has been a remarkably efficient game overall for the former Corsair. 3rd and 8 now for the Nightwings.
Only real thing you can ding him on is the fact that he did throw that interception, because, yeah, I mean, he's not exactly taking deep shots down the field, but that's fine. He's not in a position where he needs to, and he has the running backs behind him where he's not being asked to make that many deep shots down the field. So he's taking advantage of what he's got.
Roll out here for Blanton, 3rd and 8. Looking down the middle of the field there, trying to connect with one of his wide receivers, but Ibari Ahmed Eaglin there on the pass breakup. And again, just outside of Bradshaw's field goal range, I believe they will have to bring out the punting crew again here, Alex.
They will, and it's something to really credit the safeties for Carolina, and they're the biggest reason why this score isn't even wider in Denver's favor. Skippy Curtis's interception, Mike Ryan, who's been making tackle after tackle. Oh, return here.
Nice punt there, but Nolan Pierce, excuse me, says, I'm not going to stand for my offense getting pinned at the 5-yard line, and manages to pick up 15 there. A very nice punt return for the Skyhawks offense. How many likes do we have on this video so far, Alex? Whatever the number is, it's not enough. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you've got your notifications on as well, so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. We appreciate all the support that we get here at the SFL headquarters, as Quintero manages to pick up a nice chunk of yardage there. We'll get 6 before Tank Bennett lays the wood.
What we're looking at now is a moment of crisis for Carolina. There's only so much time on the clock, and Denver has clearly broadcasted their intent with this possession to take as much time off the clock as possible.
Oh, pitch to Prasad. Read very well indeed. John Martin gets another tackle there, and another injury now. Denver's defensive tackle, Joseph Bolka, is down on the field and requiring medical assistance, and the second potentially really big injury for the Nightwings in this one.
Something to keep an eye on in between 3rd and 4th quarter. Maybe we can get an injury update to check on that, because now that's one of the other most senior players on this Denver Nightwings defense. Losing 2 key players like that could make a difference here in this 4th quarter.
3rd and 2, short yardage situation here, and they'll have Quintero in the backfield. It will hurt to lose Sabolka if you're this Denver defensive line. And coverage being shown here. Certainly pressure is going to be brought here. And they do bring the house. Quintero trying to find room on the right side. Martin again shuts it down. 4th and 1 for Carolina again. Man, this linebacking core has been sensational so far tonight, Alex.
And John has really brought something special to this one in particular. He's been on one side of the line, then moving to the other side of the line. He's been able to read where the run is going and respond time and time again. Then just decides to pluck one out of the air when it's tossed right at his face mask, because why not?
He's starting his campaign for back-to-back All-Stars, certainly very early on in the season here with a fantastic performance in Week 1 here against Carolina. It has been an impressive game defensively from both teams, to be fair. I think both sides have had quite a bit of bragging to be done on the defensive side of things, but Denver still holding serve here. 10-0 over Carolina, pitching a shutout potentially into the 4th quarter here as Blandon will hand off, and Wells picks up 2 before being brought down by Stinson.
And it's honestly kind of a question. It's not that Carolina isn't a strong team, because they are. It's not that Denver isn't doing a little bit of slaying Goliath here, because they are, but this offense only being able to manage doesn't feel great. It would be nice to see them get back on the move in the second half.
Salmon's shut down there, was trying to find some room on the left side. Stinson and May Carter involved there on that one. And to mention the stat banner that was just flashed up, Alex, 10 straight drives now have ended in either a punt or an interception for both teams here. Really, defense has been the watchword in this one. We saw it a bit at the beginning of the game with all the interceptions, but now it feels like it's shifted into more just lockdown defense, a lot more punting.
Indeed. And let's see this pass result.
Oh my man, Clinton wanted it all on the left side there. He's been not afraid at all to take shots down the field, but unable to connect with Dylan Lewis on that left side. 4th and 9, and we'll see an 11th punt or interception here in this one, as the punt unit will come out again, and Bradshaw will look to boot this one down the field.
And you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say a little bit of a hot take. The Hatsis has done a great job with the defense, but Goodman's offense has done okay tonight, but only okay. This second half has felt extremely predictable. It's been run, pass on third down, try and get to the sticks wherever they are. Or if it's 3rd and long, chuck it deep. Maybe we'll get it. It feels very samey. It does not feel like I don't know. It feels like they're just spinning their wheels at this point, little stalling out, as it were. But if you lose the ability of figuring out how to move the ball down the field, if you get stuck too deep in the mud, it gets really hard to unstick yourself. So Carolina does still have a window of opportunity.
To be fair, it doesn't. You're not required to do much considering how well the defense is doing, but you're right that they are leaving the door open. Nighthawks potentially here as Quintero, man, takes a shot.
God.
Luke Schreiner showing that corners can hit too, Alex.
That's a bad man right there, Luke Schreiner. I don't think that he's particularly known for his vicious hits, but someone put that one on a highlight reel. Mamma mia.
As I say, he is now. 30 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter here. It's been a defensive battle all the way through, as Dunhill will hand off again. Quintero trying to find some room again. Johnny on the spot with a tackle after only a gain of 1 for Riley Quintero. And 3rd and 8 now. Dunhill will be asked to throw the ball here again for the first time in a while, it feels like, Alex. We haven't actually seen a pass attempt, I believe, in this entire quarter from Marcus Dunhill.
Hold your breath, cross your fingers, knock on wood. Oh, no!
Man! Pressure gets home there. Logan Gardner, the defensive tackle, with a big sack, and I think you were potentially holding your breath for the defense, if anything, Alex.
When it rains, it pours on this one. Oh my goodness, it's a deep snap and everything goes wrong at the line.
Ricky Rigatoni getting blown past there by the defensive tackle at the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back with you. And welcome back to Denver here. You're watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network, the official network of the SFLM, SFL, the UFL, and so much more coming soon. The Virtual Football Network, where all the best virtual football lives. Brandon Walters and Alexander West here in the booth with you. Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston doing stats for us in the stats truck. Fantastic work as always from them and from our producer Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. And Alex, this game has been a defensive slugfest.
And there's just no other way you can describe it when we've seen what we've seen over the course of this game, because there's just been a lack of real major progression by either offense. Let's take a look at where we are in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter, 165 yards total for Carolina, 190 total for Denver between the air and on the ground, under 4 yards of play for both teams.
Blanton looking to change that a little bit, rolling out of the pocket, plenty of time, looking deep down the field, and no, that one's dropped by Sango. Another injury down on the field here on the coverage unit. That's Davidson Joseph, the corner for the Skyhawks defense, is now down on the field.
All right, so someone at the league office needs to do an investigation into the turf under the players' feet, because with this many people going down on week one, I've got some questions for the groundskeeper staff. This is incredible and not in a good way.
I mean, Alex, we've seen a lot of Giants fans here in the stands so far tonight. Maybe the Giants stadium turf has also been transposed onto the field here tonight. Either way, it's been injury riddled as Ari Mills picks up a nice 3-yard gain there. Mike Ryan involved on the tackle. He's been very, very good for the Skyhawks defense.
And it's been the kind of night where Skyhawks have needed heroes to step up just to keep this game in check, to keep Denver from completely blowing the doors off the whole thing. It's over under at 37.5 points, but yet it's a 10-point game.
Blanton shuffling out of the pocket all kinds of time, but it breaks down. Sacked deep in his own territory there. Christopher Colon with his first sack of the season, and we've seen 2 defensive tackles now chalking up sacks. As Blanton, he had all kinds of time down there. It must have been a really impressive coverage from the Skyhawks defensive unit.
And you know what else I hate about this one in particular? I hate that he's out of the pocket, he's scrambling, he chooses to try and spin instead of just throwing the football away when he's got a big defensive tackle right in his face. Come on, that's not intentional grounding. Don't take a sack there.
Bradshaw to punt away. I mean, either way, if you throw the ball away, it'll still end up as 4th down. So I think Blanton just trying to do it all there and unable to do much of anything except eat some turf, as that one is brought down at the 28-yard line. And Carolina, man, Marcus Dunhill is going to have to try and figure out some way to get this offense moving rather quickly here, because, it feels like the grains of sand are slipping through the hourglass.
Tick, tick, tick. 8:46 and counting. You got to score twice, and one of them has to be a touchdown.
Quintero on the right side there, trying to find a little bit of room, but there's just so many Nightwings. Diesel gets credit for the tackle alongside, I believe, Joe Cumbus as well. And man, it really feels like this Nightwings defense has been doing an exceptional job of rallying to the ball and really swarming these Skyhawk ball carriers.
They truly have, and you highlight that because Carolina only got 13 yards of offense last quarter.
Oh man, that one was in and out of the outstretched hand of Nolan Pierce. Thomas on the pass breakup there. He has been elite so far tonight in coverage, Alex.
And absolutely shutting down the number 1 overall pick, Nolan Pierce, presumptively coming in here to be a respectable wide receiver 3, getting absolutely bodied.
Interesting to see Adam Banks has only had 1 target so far tonight from Dunhill. Oh man, Curtis with a catch there. A nice reception around midfield, but again, really in traffic. There was a lot of Nightwing defenders there, and trying to find out which receivers are going to be reliable here in this situation, Alex.
It's so challenging, especially whenever you've got this route where there's just basically a simple all goes with a little bit of slant action here and there. But in the end, it's just a sea of black jerseys, a tight window to fit the football into. Dunhill gets away with that one.
Gets away with that one indeed there. Schreiner had his hands right in front of it, but unable to get the interception. Todd meets John Martin, probably not for the first time so far in this one. Gain of 1 for the backup running back. And Alex, it feels like this offense is really missing Christian Bacciagalupi, feels like.
They truly are. It's something about maybe it's just that the coaches and receivers know how to work with Bacciagalupi a little bit better, and Dunhill is going to be a bit of an adjustment, but this can't be how the rest of their season goes.
That one, man, Quintero, it looked like he was going to get buried in the backfield. Somehow manages to slip through the A gap there and pick up a nice 4-yard run and make the 3rd down a little bit more manageable here for Dunhill, who's going out with an empty set here, really stating his intentions.
There's no question of what it's going to be. Just where's it going to go?
5-man pressure here. Denver pressure coming on the backside.
No!
Luke Schreiner trying to stretch it on the left side. Dunhill's chasing him down there and drags him out of bounds at the 29-yard line. But his 5th interception of the night might put a nail in the coffin here. Maybe not the final one, but certainly a painful interception nonetheless.
If that isn't the nail in the coffin, then the backboards are built and the lid is ready. It's just a matter of closing the door and hammering it in, because this has just been an absolute nightmare of a day for Dunhill. This secondary has feasted in all manners possible, and when they haven't been denying any aerial attacks, the run game has been utterly stuffed by the tandem of John Martin, Chuck Diesel, and Luke Schreiner. It's been unreal tonight for this Nightwings defense.
Very, very impressive game so far for the Nightwings as they pick up 2 there with Salmons on the left side. Mike Ryan again involved in the tackle there, and really it's been very, very impressive to watch this defense go about its work. The offense is still, it's been very measured, but not really had the explosiveness that I think we might have hoped to see from Blanton, Salmons, and O'Shaughnessy as that trio. So they'll hand the ball off again there, going up the middle of the field, and O'Shaughnessy picks up a couple before being met in the hole by number 99. That's Trevon Prasad getting a tackle.
Little bizarre factoid of the day. This is going to be one of the only if this final score holds or Denver scores again. If Carolina remains with a goose egg, it will be only their 3rd shutout in franchise history.
Blanton dropping back here. Certainly not a mark that Carolina wants to hear right now, as that one is Jeremy Mosley's. A nice first down completion there for Blanton. And I'll throw a factoid right back at you, Alex. Denver has never shut out an opponent in their history, as far as I can see here on our little research sheet. So if this score holds for them, they will pitch their first shutout potentially in franchise history. As they'll run the ball there again. Salmons couldn't find any room on the right side, dragged down well indeed. Mojo McLean has been an ever-present force here in the run defense.
Goodness, and how else do you describe the force of someone who's able to line up on the edge but also at that outside linebacker position? That versatility affords you so much greater play in formations.
Oh man, up the middle of the field, Wells picks up 3 before meeting McLean. I have to admit, I did tell a lie. This is not the first potential shutout that Denver has ever pitched. They shut out the DC Dragons way back in season 16, 30-0. So that's my bad. But
first one in the 2K,
way,
we'll give it to you. It's 2K4 era, okay? It's the first one in the modern era.
Thank you for being so gracious. Either way, it's been a very impressive game here. 3rd and 7 now. Blanton will have to throw if he wants it. 4-man pressure there. Salmons trying to find some room. Oh, he was dragged out of bounds a little bit by Harris there on that right side and unable to pick up the first down. But Bradshaw's got a chip shot field goal.
Now, hear me out. You should go for this. You should. You should absolutely go for this, because a field goal to take you up to 13 is not nearly as meaningful as getting a touchdown here or working off more clock. This is accepting for less.
Well, the field goal is good. Bradshaw puts it through the uprights. I disagree with you, actually, Alex, because this means that Carolina has to score 2 touchdowns now. They could have scored a touchdown and a field goal, but now, knowing that Carolina has to get to the end zone, I think gives you a little bit more predictability in terms of how you can set up your defense. But either way.
That's fair, and that's all, honestly, why I love calling games these so much. Offensive and defensive-minded brains. We work so differently.
Well, I mean, that's why we complement each other so much.
We do.
Let's stop with the self-praise. It's a bit weird. Kickoff week continues tomorrow with a Monday night spectacular triple header starting at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time with SFL this week. Charleston battles Indianapolis at 8:15 Eastern, and Sin City faces Albuquerque at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's another exciting Monday night right here on the Virtual Football Network. And now we get to see Carolina trying to push down the middle of the field here. It's been a struggle so far for Marcus Dunhill. We can call it that, I think. 8 of 18 for 130 yards, 5 interceptions so far for the former Toros quarterback. And so far it's looked mighty uncomfortable in this new Skyhawks red and blue uniform, as that one goes to Quintero for a gain of 5 before Schreiner gets the tackle.
And what's even worse, let's just not to harp on Dunhill because he's had a bad day, but we kind of have to talk about it, right? Not only are some of these numbers ugly, but it's so ugly that his QBR is under 30. It's 29.6, lower than it would be if he had just thrown an incompletion on every single attempt.
we gotta pull out that stat. I love that stat. Prasad shaking off a tackle on the left side, trying her again with a big hit as he sends Harish Prasad down onto the turf there. 3rd and 2 now, setting up for this offense. And I want to look at Adam Banks. You know, he's only been targeted once so far in this game and hasn't actually been able to get any catches. And, you know, I figured he was going to be a big free agent acquisition from Louisiana. It's been impressive that Denver's managed to shut him down so convincingly as they'll pitch to the right side. Quintero was fighting for it, but didn't get there. Big tackle. They'll go in the hurry up here. Lucas DeVore. They gave him the first down.
No way. No way.
That has to be challenged there. And Michael Goodman throws the red flag, so we'll get a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console to play SFL on the go at goretroid.com. We've got to take a look at this one because there's no way that he made it to that first down mark.
It just doesn't feel like it's possible. Let's see the sideline view, but it looks well short. The ball, just the yellow line is just a simulation. We're going to see where they spot it, but I don't think he got it.
As I say, Cumbus was dragging him down, but the big tackle there made by Lucas DeVore will overturn the first down here. So it'll be 4th down and inches or so for this Carolina offense. But I mean, either way, it's an extra play that they will have to take to try and continue moving the ball here.
An extra play that they're not guaranteed to make, more time that's going to go off the clock, and you're playing to convert on 4th and 1 instead of actually taking shot. What? Never mind. What? 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 What?
Dunhill
no way.
Being given the keys to the offense here, and we'll see if he can make it count. They're not going to run the. Dunhill scrambles for it. Pressure being brought there, and that one is broken up very well indeed. Chase Earl was blanketed by Tank Bennett, who gets the 4th down turnover there. A gutsy decision, to be sure, from the Skyhawks coaching staff.
A very gutsy one, no doubt about it. And this is one where I also kind of really hate the placement of that football. It's at what could have been Quintero's knees or at Chase Earl's shins. In either case, that ball that low is just so hard to actually reel in.
Misery continuing for this offensive unit here, and Denver has a chance to end the game. 3:30 left to go in this one. If they can get a few first downs and really pound the rock, as it looks like they're going to try and do here, they might be able to close the book on this one. Dwayne Salmons picks up 8 yards on the first down carry.
And this feels like a bizarre moment where Carolina is actually going to sag off a little bit and just try to protect the end zone because they know that Denver are just going to run the football until the 2-minute warning.
2nd and 2 here, and I mean, you've got to get some kind of stop here because any points at this point would make it a 3-score deficit for Carolina, and that's certainly something that they can almost certainly not overcome, especially given their struggles on the offensive side of things in this one as well. Easily up the middle there, all kinds of daylight before Ibari Ahmed Eaglin meets him at least 10 yards downfield.
And that's full credit to the front set for the Denver Nightwings. 2 former Scorpions in John Benazzi and Igor Barbatov. Marcelo Martin there making a big difference as a unit, pushing forward to make so much room. And this is just the worst possible outcome for the Skyhawks defense. They're gasping for breath. They have had to deal with well over 20 rushing attempts tonight. So far, I think that the defense is at 31 now.
The offensive line for Denver has been a huge pickup for this team here, and certainly looks like they have been worth the money and effort spent to get them over here in free agency so far, as Stinson will bring down Salmons after a gain of 1, which will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Denver looking to close out an opening win of the season over Carolina in dramatic fashion. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to the Mile High City for the close of this one here. Brandon Walter West. Stats provided by Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston. Thank you very much for your hard work. And produced, as always, by Commissioner Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters, as Salmons is putting his stamp on this one, dragging Mike Ryan for the first down. Carolina will call their first timeout of the half here. But, I mean, Alex, I'm not going to lie to you. It feels like this game is just about over.
Truly, there's only a handful of circumstances. It would truly take a miracle of the worst kind, of the most sinister kind, that makes this entire home crowd go home in tears.
Oh, Mills takes a shot there on the left side. A good tackle by number 99, Trevon Prasad, with the hit there. Carolina calls their second timeout of the half here, trying to show any signs of life. I think at this point, Alex, it's really the goal for Carolina is not to get shut out.
It's truly about this point is just not leaving a 0 up there on the scoreboard, playing for pride, especially considering the last shutout was last season against the Toros with Dunhill under center. What a bizarre stat line that would be.
Salmons gets a nice couple yards there. The final timeout of the half called by the Skyhawks, and it's going to be 3rd down, and I think it was 8 that was marked there for Blanton. We'll have to see, actually. I'm curious if they're going to try and potentially pass the ball here and really try and end this game here and now, or if they're content to just run some time off the clock and kick a field goal. To the left side, Salmons pushing forward, picks up another chunk of yards there. Prasad will get a tackle. 4th and 4 now, and we will see this kicking unit. Jordan Bradshaw gets to come out onto the field here. I have to say, Carolina's kicker, Malone Brown, we have to say his name at least once because I don't think we've gotten to see him at all so far tonight, unfortunately, for Carolina. They've just not been in the offensive position.
We saw him exactly one time tonight, and that was to start the second half. Otherwise, he has been sidelined the entire time. In a rather depressing state of affairs.
I mean, at least you get a bit of a rest before week 2. I'm sure it's not probably how he wants to look at it, but silver linings and all that, as Bradshaw will tack on the field goal here from very short range. 16-0 is the lead now for the Night Wings. 1 minute left in this one, and Carolina has one more shot to get down the field and try and get this goose egg off the board and hopefully avoid throwing a potential 6th Marcus Dunhill interception.
And that's just someone knock on wood for me, because that one just sent a chill down my spine. Oh. This is one where it's just Carolina's going to take, you have to describe this one to week 1 jitters and weirdness. The week 1 is always the most unpredictable one in any SFL season. We've seen a weird one tonight.
Nolan Pierce bringing it up to the 31-yard line. I agree. I think this is certainly a case of both offenses really trying to figure out what works and what doesn't for them, with new quarterbacks under center, new faces joining and leaving both of these offenses, and certainly a case of trying to feel out what will be going forward and what will be dropped after this one. Certainly, I think the Skyhawks coaching staff has got quite a bit of dropping to do out of this playbook, but I mean, it's just how it goes sometimes, Alex.
It really is, and I think some of it just about how much they did not run off the A-gap. They did so many pitches that were going to the outside, so many toss plays that were trying to bounce off the guard or the tackle. It was not an effective running game tonight because it was so much time spent trying to get to the outside, and when they did try to run on the inside, including those B and C gaps, there was just too much traffic jamming happening.
Parker Thomas, speaking of traffic jamming, Parker Thomas with a nice press coverage there on the right side, breaks up the pass intended for Adam Banks. Dunhill looking quick over the left side there and manages to find his receiver. That is number 83. Not sure who that actually is on this Carolina offense. I think that might be a backup tight end, as Dunhill will spike the ball here. 4th and 3 now, 45 seconds left in this one. We'll have to see if they can convert here.
Oh, I found him. That's like the 4th or 5th stringer wide receiver. That's Adam Toomer. Not that we see him much.
Got to go digging in the roster sheets for that one. I'm shuffling all my papers here on the desk, Alec. 4th and 3 now. Defense chance ringing throughout Denver here. Dunhill will roll out and try and tipped at the line by the on-rushing Hugo Reynosa. We've got a game update for you. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thank you, Brandon. When y'all are done there, we got a good one in Nashville. Switch thumper to Chris Alther into the end zone to start the 4th quarter. 17-13 Steamers protecting a 4-point lead in Tennessee. Back to you.
A tight close in the Music City. Thank you, Cameron. But a good one here ends off in a shutout as Trellis Blanton will take the knee. And, man, it really was a tale of defensive domination from both teams, to be honest with you, Alex. But Denver certainly gets the better of things here at home. maybe the altitude advantage coming into play a little bit here as they shut out Carolina for the first game of the season.
And a bizarre one too. I'll save some of my thoughts for us to actually get truly post game on the final whistle. But gonna see if I can get us some popcorn and get the other game, get that Nashville Bossier City game going here on the in the broadcast room monitor, because this one is all over, and Denver put a stamp on it. Their defense was unbelievably lethal tonight in a way I don't think we've seen them in. I want to say about 8 seasons.
Well, hats off to Denver. They soar to a 1-0 record as the Carolina Skyhawks have their wings clipped and are left stranded on the ground here. Shutout pitched by Denver is certainly an impressive statistic here in this one, and really just a tale of defensive mastery from both sides. You know, Carolina certainly played well on the defensive side of things, but you cannot commit 5 turnovers and expect to win a game, and that is exactly what Marcus Dunhill and this offense did, unfortunately, for Carolina. Alex, we saw a lot of impressive play from a lot of impressive players in this one so far tonight, but I'd like to get a player of the game from you.
Well, I'll give you my player of the game, and I won't talk about anyone else so you have room. But my player of the game is John Martin. No other way to put it. 10 tackles, the only double-digit tackler for Denver. On top of that, 3 tackles for loss, a pass deflection, and an interception. This man put forward a complete defensive football clinic.
I'll give you that one. I have to go with Parker Thomas. 2 tackles, 2 interceptions. Really a premium cornerback stat line there. You know, that's how you can tell that someone's got blanket coverage going on their side of the field there, making them pay as they target them. But either way, a fantastic first week here in Denver. For my partner, Alexander West, I'm Brandon Walters. For Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colson in the stat truck, and for Cameron Irvine producing, thank you for tuning in to the SFL Week 1 here at Denver. Don't go anywhere. We've got great football for you in the future. You have a good night.